Hey guys, it's Time Travel Reviews here, back with the old video camera. Now that I've moved my new computer into my room, I've found that this video camera is a lot easier to put on my computer than it was before. So I'll be using maybe this a few more times again. But anyway, today we're discussing Battleship, the new film which just came out. I always say that, but it's pretty obvious. But in comparison to me reviewing a DVD or something like that. Now, anyway, yeah, so this is I guess you would call it it's an alien invasion film, and I guess you'd call it maybe like a war film, not really a war film, it's just alien invasion, you can call it that. Action movie, there you go. Special effects movie, science fiction movie, what do you want to call it? No, it's not science fiction. Alright, now, so, what this movie is basically about, it's a adaptation, in inverted commas, of the board game Battleship. I'm just holding the camera in my arm here, so that's why it's a bit, shaky. Well, I mean, okay, if you're watching the movie, this is how it would be all the time, so I'll get to that later. But, yeah, so this is an adaptation of the board game. It doesn't really follow the board game at all. I've got the board game in there, so I'm looking at it now. But, yeah, so it's meant to be an adaptation of that, and, so basically what happens is, there's these people, they send out a signal to another planet, aliens come down, and it's time to blow them up and, say screw you to them. So, you can probably just tell from my explanation of the plot that it's pretty formulaic. Like, it's pretty done before kind of thing. It's nothing new at all. And I think that's the main problem with this movie. It's unoriginality. There's nothing new. There's nothing that I would consider surprising. This movie did not surprise me in the slightest. There was not one thing in this movie that I didn't expect. Really, like, I mean, I can't, on retrospect, it's harder to say that kind of thing when you haven't really written down what you expect on the movie, but I can't say that there was really anything I didn't expect from this movie. It's actually worse than I thought it would be, actually. Because, now, this movie is actually pretty similar to Transformers, and a lot of people have been saying that. I don't think it's as similar as people have been saying. It's worse than Transformers, I'll say that right now. I watched the first Transformers movie when it came out. Yeah, we watched it in the movies, and I can't remember what year that was. I'm on IMDb right now, so I'll just move the camera along as I go and search for it. Transformers. Oh, 2007. So yeah, I watched that movie when it came out in the cinemas. And I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. Like, I mean, a lot of people say that it's terrible. But I remember liking it, but, I was like 13 then. So, times changed and I haven't seen it since it came out, I don't think. But, yeah, and I remember I went in the toilet during that movie and I came out and nothing had happened, so that's just basically, like, what I think of the movie, so... but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. And it definitely has a better story than this movie, or at least, I wouldn't say more. No, definitely, it's more original than this movie. Now, the characters in this movie are all pretty bland. Like, I mean, don't expect any character development. Don't really expect any characters doing anything interesting or acting any interestingly. Don't expect them to have any emotional moments, because that won't happen. It's just the bland, hero, army chief guy. Well, actually, probably Liam Neeson is probably the best character in the movie, actually. Basic girlfriend, basic geek guy. And they really don't like geeks in this movie, I find out, like... You're meant to laugh when, there's like some black guy that's hanging around them with no legs, and you're meant to laugh, like, when the black guy makes some remarks at the geek, but no one in the cinema laughed. Like, there's a whole lot of quips. Like, this movie, it has a bit of humor, like, not as much humor as you would expect from this kind of movie, not as much, comic relief. Transformers at least had that. Not as much comic relief as you would expect, and the comic relief they do have really isn't that funny. And I mean, usually, like, the jokes are, they're okay, but just something about this movie makes you not want to laugh. It just kind of like Sin City. It kind of just takes you by the balls and says, don't laugh. Like, even though we're trying to make you laugh, don't laugh. So nobody in the cinema laughed at, like, there was a few jokes that, people did laugh at, and, but a few jokes isn't cut in this kind of movie, and, I mean, I'm not too huge on comic relief, but on this kind of movie, it really did need it. Now, the worst parts of the movie are the bits, no, that's not grotesque, that's not the right word. Let's just say, horrible action parts that beep beep beep, seizure inducing, keep things rolling around, make a lot of noise, moving really fast, going up and down on the screen, missiles. I'd say probably about a total of half an hour of the movie is just that, and that's the worst part of this movie. Some people will find that really good, but I'm not a fan of that at all, especially strobe lights, as they're called, where, the lights, don't like them. And this movie had all that. So that's the worst part, and that just makes me that just makes me hate the movie when I sort of see that kind of thing. But I didn't hate this movie, I just found it very unlikable. I mean, okay, my favourite part of the movie is actually at the start, where there's this funny scene where this guy, I won't spoil it because it's the only good part of the movie, but this guy goes and gets something for a girl, that's all I'm going to say. So that's the only bit I liked about this movie, and the rest I just found it kind of... And the epilogue, way too short. Way too short. All this shit happens in the movie, and the epilogue, it doesn't explain what's coming next. Like, I mean, I don't want a sequel hook myself, because I don't want a sequel to this movie, but, I mean, at least clear some things up. Now, the aliens in this movie, they aren't very well developed. I'll just say that right now. We don't know what they're doing here, what they're all about. The aliens are boring, their machines are boring, their weapons are boring. I mean, it gives us a hint that these aliens, like, they're peaceful, and they don't want to fight unless we fight them. But there's some things that contradict that in the movie, and I don't really get it. And it really doesn't, like, it makes us look like these aliens don't want to fight, except by the end we don't really know, like, what's going on. Like, were we supposed to, in the end, feel for these aliens and try and realize how they don't really want to fight, or not, because it doesn't really explain itself. It doesn't. Nobody. And the characters in this movie, they're meant to be naval officers, and they're quite dumb, and the aliens are dumb as well, and that's another problem. The naval officers, they never, there's never in the epilogue they say, oh no, are the aliens, are they going to come back? Are they going to come back, in more thousands or whatever? They never say anything like that. And also the camera's like this, as I said before, shake, shake, shake. That makes it more stressful. For some reason I didn't mind it at all in the Hunger Games. Now, so yeah, I didn't like this movie at all, and it's pretty forgettable, I reckon. I won't remember this movie in a couple of years, and frankly I don't think I need to, because Sin City I didn't like, but this movie has even less creativity and less memorable parts to it. At least Sin City, it has its own unique style to it. This movie is just bland. Sorry, I got a bit of interruptions there. If I were to say some good things about this movie, I would say that it's entertaining enough, and the script isn't bad, but again, that makes the movie seem kind of... I mean, I would prefer it if the movie was really campy and silly rather than serious and with a good script. But yeah, no, the script is good. And, I mean, it has, like, in the last 30 minutes, it has something preposterous, as my dad explained to me, but I really didn't care about that. But yeah, there are, it's kind of entertaining, it flows kind of well. I don't know. I can't even say if it flows kind of well because I wasn't interested. But it wasn't boring. Like, I didn't feel just like, this movie makes full sense. I didn't feel like that during the movie. But just, it's not the kind of thing that I really like. And the acting is, that's good as well. I mean, the acting is okay, but, I mean, it just wasn't interesting. That's the thing, like, it seemed a bit actually like an ad for the Navy, or the the armed defenses in general. To really the movie, and really I think they could have made a better movie about Battleship. I mean, picture this, picture a movie where these men, they go out to sea, and then suddenly these big white pegs fall on their ship, just smack on their ship, and then they're wondering what the hell is going on, and they're getting case-cut by the dome, and then some white pegs like fall, like there's two teams, and like white pegs start falling on their ships, and when the ship's destroyed, they all turn red, um, they're trying to work out what the hell's going on. And by the end of the movie, they go out to outer space. After everything's destroyed, they go into outer space, and then they go through this little warp hole thing that's appeared, and they come out, and they're just in this living room. And then they see these two kids playing the battleship on the board. That would have been really great. I would have, I would have said that was the best movie of the year if they made that kind of thing. But this is just uncreative. This is just bland. This is just done before. And it really isn't that exciting. It's just forgettable, and popcorn entertainment. I would go for something more like Independence Day, or even Armageddon, or The Day After Tomorrow, or 2012. 2012 would great popcorn movie. So this movie I don't even think works well as a popcorn movie, to be honest. It's too bland for that. But if you do like entertaining I don't know if you're entertained by that kind of stuff, action, special effects, alien invasion, that kind of stuff, go for Transformers. But if you want even more, go for this movie. And for the record, I haven't seen Transformers 2 or 3. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this, and probably be the contender at the moment for the worst movie I've seen this year, and I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.